everyone, welcome to Toy Break episode 303. I'm Aileen.
I'm George.
I'm Tim.
Tim, welcome to the couch.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you here.
And I'm happy to be here.
Well, let us introduce Toy Break and we'll be right back to why you're on the couch.
Okay.
In case you're wondering, Toy Break is your weekly internet show all about news and reviews about designer vinyl, plush, action figures, collectibles, events, artists, anything in the wonderful world of toys that we can bring you. That is what we aim to do. Let us start, as we always do, by thanking our site sponsors like Button Lab,
DKE Toys,
3D Retro,
Happy Panda Toys,
Dragatomi,
Tomonosuke,
and Suburban Vinyl. And George,
yeah,
one last day left.
Sket 1, Mad Owl Contest.
Tell them about it.
Win the Bacon Purple Chase Mad Owl designed by Sket 1. This was originally sold by Wizard Sleeve Toys back in 2010, and now it can be yours. All you have to do is post a picture of, or no, I guess you don't have to post a picture. Just tell us what toy you wish you had that you missed in the past. Deadline is April 16th.
What a wonderful episode, in case we have going on right here for that very contest.
For that very reason, some toys from the past.
Speaking
sitting
of,
right here.
Tim Clarke on our couch.
Right.
Welcome again. So, who are you? What do you do? Why are you here?
Well, I've been designing toys for over 35 years.
For 30 minutes.
And I started when I was really young.
Of course, you were
Actually,
like 4.
That's true, because I was under 30 when I sold sectors.
Wait, sectors?
Yes.
Sectors?
The sectors.
Well, let's hold that little guy up like that.
So, some of you may or may not remember from 85, I believe, or 84?
About then.
Somewhere in
84,
the mid-early 80s, when you were a wee lad, barely old
Yes.
enough to even have a job. Sectors, they're here!
Trancula.
That's so amazing. It's so, they're...
And Eileen doesn't like
I like
bugs.
insects. But I do like puppets, so I'm really at odds with this line. So they're insect puppet vehicles with, of course, action figures
Yep.
that can ride them.
Correct.
Which is kind I mean, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
It's very true, isn't it?
Would you
That
like to
is
tell
a-
us about this? How did you come up with sectors?
Well,
How did you fall into that?
At the time, I was
I'd like to see this
working
guy.
with Maureen Trotto, and Seven Towns was my agent, and Larry Mass was at Seven Towns, and it started because when I was working in the very early days of working at Muppets.
Which we can't gloss over. We're going to get back to that in a second.
Okay. Muppets would do these very elaborate Halloween parties.
Nice.
And I never liked wearing masks, because you go to a Halloween party and if you're wearing a mask, you can't eat anything, you can't drink anything.
Well, that's very true.
And a few years before I,
so cool.
I was invited to one of the Muppet parties, I had made this fly to go to a Halloween party.
This fly.
Yes, this fly.
That's amazing.
And I would just go
It's creepier than sectors.
like this to people at the Hollywood party, and of course that was the
Yeah, 'cause
reaction.
there's a
And
giant fly on your shoulder.
they would spill their drink, and it was great because I could take his proboscis and put it in their drink and
Oh!
do all kinds of wonderfully disgusting things. And
I hope you've Lysol'd him since then.
Nah.
Nope.
No.
That means nope.
it's that aroma makes him more flyish. So one of the meetings that Maureen and I had at Seven Towns, I pulled this out of the my bag, and Larry Mass was like looking at it. He was working for Seven Towns as their agent in New York at that time, and he's like, oh, this is incredible. This is just amazing. He said, you know what? We should put an action figure on the back of that. It would make an incredible line. And Maureen and I said, yeah, that's a great idea. So. We both started drawing and sketching out characters and, building prototypes. And Maureen built a whole bunch of prototypes, and we presented it. I just realized one of his antennas is broken. Well, that's too bad.
He can borrow one of those.
And
It's okay.
they showed it at Toy Fair that year, and a bunch of companies looked at it, and Coleco saw it, and they flipped out over it. And then it was just like a lot of work.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
After that. So, yeah.
But what a cool thing. You guys, you're seeing the original Sector. Like, what? That's
Yes.
crazy. Can I touch
There
it?
he is. Yeah, of course. He's a little beat
Sure.
up, but
I touched it. That's amazing. So all out of a Halloween costume.
yes,
Costume.
yes, exactly.
That's fantastic. But this isn't the only line that you've developed and worked on and created in the toy industry.
No, there's too many to mention.
Well, how about some of the big ones?
Well, and then after that, Bogglings came out. Maureen and I developed this.
I totally remember the commercial for Bogglings.
Yes.
Look at how great that is. And you had friends. You always played with your friends.
Yeah, I always
Bogglings.
had friends that had them.
Yeah.
I would play with them in the store because you could put your hand in the box and like move it around and stuff. But
So and
Had the great cage box.
I'm very hopeful that sometime through the course of this year, Bogglings is going to come back in some form.
that would be amazing.
We just don't know yet which form, but
That's
we're
incredible.
working on it as a collectible. So Maureen and I will be putting that together hopefully
That's
soon.
A few episodes ago, one of our viewers sent in a from the UK some of the mini Bogglings, and I had never even known they existed.
No,
Like,
there's a
Yeah, 'cause
huge
they're not
line
here.
that came out in Europe that no one knows
Yeah.
ever existed here.
Ah, why are they
From
over here?
baby Bogglings to soggy Bogglings to
soggy Bogglings.
I mean, to oh my gosh,
I hope
there's
that's a cereal.
Bogglins and slime. There was the mini Bogglins, the baby Bogglins. There were
And all we had was regular
glow in the
Bogglings.
dark Bogglins. Yeah, there was just.
That's
when
crazy.
it left the U.S., were you still able to work on it, or what did it?
Oh yeah,
was it,
no,
like,
no.
Did you just sell it and it
I
went away?
sculpted a lot of. Maureen and I both sculpted a lot of the minis,
That's cool.
and then they went in. They went to Europe to be produced.
That's cool.
So
Did you do the sculpting on any of this stuff too, or were you just?
I wasn't
designing it?
allowed to.
No.
Oh.
No, I wanted to. They didn't. They wouldn't. I don't know why they didn't want me to.
Because they were buying it from you and they wanted to
Yeah,
have it.
I guess I don't know. It's funny because a lot of times when I started working in the toy industry, I started out sculpting because my first job in toy business was sculpting the Dark Crystal figures for Hasbro, which were
crazy.
never released. And
Do you still have copies?
yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
I've actually put, I think, pictures of them on Instagram. It's funny because you could either be a toy inventor and designer, or you could be a toy sculptor freelance.
Right.
But they didn't want you to be doing both because they didn't want to be giving toy sculptors other people's work if you were also an inventor. You had to be one or the other because they
Right.
didn't want you seeing somebody else's work before it was released to the market because you might copy it and rip
Right.
it off. So it was like this strange paranoia. But I started out doing sculpting, and then I was working freelance for Henson, and I went to Jim and I said, we're doing such innovative things here, and then the toy manufacturers are coming out with these things that are just kind of like,
Nah.
eh. They're using the
Yeah.
Muppet characters, but it's not Muppety, And I said, we should really start a toy design development division here. And Jim said to me, Tim, that's a wonderful idea, but I just don't want to do it.
Might have been a smart move.
Right, and I always said it was like the best kick in the pants I ever could have gotten, because then later on when we were put on freelance, because Muppets was having trouble placing projects with, major people. And I said, I'm going to start working on coming up with my own design concepts and pitching them to toy companies. And Hasbro was the only one that would see me because I had worked on the
Dark
figures.
Crystal
Right.
Wizard.
Everybody else said to me, we don't know you, we don't want to know you.
It's such a weird industry to try to break into.
Well, because they're paranoid about people ripping off ideas, which is a big reason why I think the whole designer market has happened, because people are frustrated with penetrating the majors. And if you're an independent designer in this day and age, you can't get them to launch something like this,
No.
or an action
a new
figure
brand,
line.
yeah, like a new brand. Like
You
that.
know, you have to be Disney, you have to be Pixar, you have to be, you have to be a major motion picture or
Right.
television show
You have
for
to have
them
the
to
whole
look at you.
brand
And
behind you.
so I think the frustration for designers who are independent, it's why this is been born, you know, the
Yeah.
whole designer thing, because they want, you know, people want to put their stuff out there, and this is the way they have a chance to do it.
Yeah.
And with the internet, we now have a means to get independent toys to
Yeah.
people around the world and to
Yeah.
actually create an audience.
Yes.
So it's
definitely.
kind of both things happen sort
and
of
it's
at
a
the
lot
same
more
time.
fun to have direct contact with your audience.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
It is more fun. Wow.
Because
so.
for many years, no one knew that I had anything to do with these
Tim
things.
Clarke. Who's Tim Clarke?
Right.
Who is he? And
That's
how did
amazing.
he get on this couch?
I know this is. I know this
Well,
isn't going to be
there's
a
an
toy-related question, but how did you How did you first start out with Like, how did you get involved with Henson in the beginning?
Kermit Love, who built Big Bird and Snuffleupagus, was teaching at Pratt. But his course was so popular that the only time you could usually get in his class was in your senior year of your last semester. Because you then had priority.
Right.
That's amazing.
So in my senior year, my last semester in school, I got into the puppetry class, and I was making all these crazy things. And I was very fortunate because my mother was really into sewing. And when I was in high school, I said to her, I want to learn how to sew. And she didn't say to me, you're a guy, you know, you can't do that.
Right.
And she said, okay, I'll show you how to do it, because I started making some of my own clothes and stuff.
Wow.
And so when I started doing stuff with Kermit at Pratt, he was like, man, you sew really well. And I said, well, thank you.
You've been doing it for years.
And I
at
was
that
doing
point.
one of the first things I built was a dragon, this huge dragon that went from this hand was the head, and the tail was at this end, and my head was the bump in his back. So it went across so it was like 8 feet long.
Oh my gosh.
You know, and I could do all these great things with it. And Kermit was just like looking at me. He said, like, where did you come from? You know? And so I just kept on building. And, you know, because he got excited about what I was doing. It's like, what could be better inspiration?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that
You know,
kinda get you
so I
excited
kept
and-
on making all these things. And then when it was coming to the end of the semester, he said to me, well, what are you doing after you graduate? And I said, well, I'm looking for a teaching job, because I was majoring in art ed at the time. With my art major was sculpture. And he said, well, would you want to come and work with me? And I was like, well, that's an easy one. You know, I can't find a job teaching, so I've been trying. I said, yeah, let's do it. You know, like, I would love to. So my first job working with Kermit was dyeing Snuffleupagus fur.
Oh, that's
Brown. And being brown from here
Oh,
to
no.
here.
all the time.
Yeah, for like a few days. And then, you know, helping construct him, because every year they would build a new one to replace the previous years, and
Oh, wow.
the previous years they would use as a backup. And then, and the same thing with Big Birds, a new one had to be built every year, so you had a hand. Kermit insisted on each feather being backed with silk, cut to the shape of the feather,
Right.
and sewn on each feather, and then each feather being sewn on individually onto Big Bird.
Wow.
So it was incredibly time consuming.
Whoa.
And
Wait, and the new one every year?
yes.
Wow.
And then the previous years would be used as the backup.
Of course. Wow.
Because they get, you know, on set they get
That's a lot of
dirty.
time.
and
Manhandled.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't even imagine.
Yeah. So
Manhandled and kid handled.
So then, after I worked for Kermit for a little over a year, I said, I was going to go to him and say, you know, I really like an introduction to go and work at Muppets, because Kermit's work was kind of up and down. We did a lot of Sesame Street characters for Germany and Mexico and Kuwait, but you know, it's like you would have work for 3 months, then you wouldn't have work for 3
Right.
months, and it was up and down. So I went to see him at Pratt, and I walked in the door, and he said, oh, I'm so glad you came today. And I said, oh, okay. And he goes, there's a new project starting up at Muppets, and I want you to go up there and interview for it. And I said, okay. He's like reading my mind now.
That's amazing.
So he said they're doing this new kind of science fiction weird thing, but he said, I think you'd be perfect for it. So he said, and you have an interview with Jim next Thursday. And I was like, okay. So I took all the stuff I had worked on for the last few years, the last 2 years, and I threw it all in a bag, and I took it up there, and, Jim comes up and he goes, okay, well, show me what you have, and I start pulling all these things out of the bag, and I'm showing him all this stuff. And he goes, okay, well, when can you start? And I said, tomorrow. And he goes, no. He said, you have to give me a few days to get things, organized, for you to come. And so I started the next Tuesday, and that was the beginning of work on Dark Crystal.
Ah,
that's amazing. That's the movie that made me want to get into special effects and now toys. And so, like, the movie you first worked on was the movie that inspired me to go on my career of doing what I want to do. So
cool.
That's pretty amazing. Like, that's so cool.
And totally not the same level, but so you worked on unfortunately they didn't come out, but the Dark Crystal toys for Hasbro. George sculpted the Gartham for Plan B that came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the bust
cool.
figure that came out. Yeah, like when they asked us to do that, it was my
do you have
friends
one?
And I. Yeah, up in the closet.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I saw some, I don't know if it was Plan B or Sideshow did some stuff years ago, and one of the Mystic sculpts that
Are they busts?
Had, was really good. I was really impressed.
Two of the the guy that used to be on the show, Matt, and then our friend Michael are the two guys that sculpted those other ones too. So yeah, it was.
See, things come
Small
full circle.
world.
So crazy.
Things come full circle.
So now let's get into what I mean. I don't want to
So
stop
that's
it.
what
I would love to hear all the stories of Dark Crystal, but let's get into what you're doing now and get back
That's
onto
for
toys.
Dark Crystal break.
I know, seriously. I could sit here for hours listening to
then with Toy Art Gallery, I was kicking around a bunch of ideas with Gino, and the first one I came up with, which I'm not going to talk about now, he said, Tim, we can't do that right now. I said, okay,
Let's do something else.
I'll come up with another idea. So I called him up. I said, okay, I got this other idea. I'm going to send you some sketches. It's the idea of being able to collect individual characters and then building them the way you want, So this is the first, generation of that, the Totems, which is a pun on my name.
Nice.
And it's multi-headed, crazy characters, and they come apart, and you can restack them the way you want. And there's going to be, other editions coming out so you can pop one of these guys out, put it in another head, or you can take one of the existing heads, and then there's going to be these different kind of head caps to complete it if you want the way you want. So the whole idea is
different sizes and
is to get into the whole idea of being able to customize your own toy,
right?
And for it to be readily available to anybody and easy.
Now this was all sculpted by you, right?
Yes.
This is I mean, I don't know if it's going to show up when Aileen takes close-up shots, but this is amazing. Like, there's so much going on every surface. Like, there's nothing. I don't know. Like,
there's no blank
and
surface.
this is the joy of doing designer toys that you create and produce yourself, because nobody's saying to you, you can't do that.
Right.
That's what I love about it. It's like I can be as detailed and crazy and different as I want to be. And after being in the toy business for 35 years, it's like to have the opportunity for somebody to say, not to say to you, that's not child safe. I think you're going to have to make that nose a little bigger, or
watch out for undercuts.
Well, not even that, but it's just like, or that nose is a little too sharp. That could poke somebody's eye out, So not to have to deal with that. And it's unfortunately, it's been a little bit of, to get myself out of that mindset, because I've had it for so long, about safety and testing and small parts and all of that stuff. So,
but it's kind of good to have that in the back of your head too, even though you're still designing. It's interesting to come from that background.
I would like to get rid of all
completely.
Just because
if you're making art, it doesn't need to be there. Like, there's no reason to have any of that.
It's true.
The whole idea of going beyond what everybody thought was possible. Like when Sectors came out, they said to us, you can't put fur fabric on a boy's toy. Fur fabric is for girls. It's plush. And we go, no, believe me.
You can.
We're going to make this thing so creepy that little boys are gonna love it, and little girls are gonna go, and that's the whole point,
Right.
And of course, I as far as I know, I think it was like the first use of mixing hard plastic and fur fabric together.
I think
Wow.
you're right. Yeah.
This is just insane.
And obviously it worked.
Yeah.
Anybody that's watching that buys the kind of stuff that we make, like the OMFG or anything like that, like you have to see this. You need to go get one of these in person because
So
this thing is
we should also mention this is
incredible.
Sofubi. This is made Japanese vinyl.
Made
It
in
is.
Japan.
It's got a little bit of a different feel,
And
which is cool. It's
And going on now, right, is
Yes.
up through the 26th
Of April.
of
Yep.
April at Toy Art Gallery is an art show with these called Idol Worship. Here, we'll bring up this one.
That's a custom.
So there's a custom. So it's a custom show featuring Brian Flynn, Tim Clarke, Yakimon, Grizzly Adam, Shirahama Yatsuashi, and Frenzy Brothers. Sorry if I mispronounced any of that. But
And
yeah,
this
so
is
check it out.
Krakatoa.
obviously. This thing's beautiful.
So there's the size comparison.
Yep. So, and this is the vinyl on the inside of, this
That's
guy.
this guy, right?
And then on the outside is a resin casting that I did, and I just like
Busted
cracked
apart.
it open and fooled around with it.
That's very creative.
This is exactly what I mean. It's like being able to go out of the box completely and not have to worry, well, this is gonna, this is too brittle, this is too fragile. It's like
Nope.
to treat it the way I want, or abuse it the way I want.
Now, you also had a booth at DesignerCon last year.
Yes, I was trying to get to DesignerCon. I made it to DesignerCon. Unfortunately, Totems got stuck in customs. But yeah, it was great to walk around and see all the. I am so impressed with what people are doing. It's just
So many creative people coming
yeah,
together.
it just beautiful, beautiful things.
So do you think you might come back?
Oh yeah, I will.
Yay! With more totems?
Yes,
Yay!
and with King Tufus.
King Tufus, do tell us.
Yes, is the new one for the show,
This guy's
This thing
massive.
is
and
out of control.
his back is even crazier than his front.
I feel like you must have so much fun sculpting these.
I do.
It looks like you have fun making these.
Yeah, it's a total joy. So
I like his mouth.
Which one?
Good question. Good question.
the one that
front
you're
one.
looking at the moment. So,
This
and
is-
he's just a prototype model that I painted up for the show, but he'll probably be going into vinyl.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. This has a very like Indiana Jones sort of feel to it, a little
Oh,
bit.
cool!
Like to me, because it's got like the little skull
what?
eyes.
You know what? It's amazing to me what people see in my work, because like some people go like, "Oh, this is Aztec," and I said, "Oh, really? That's cool." And then some people go, "Oh, this is like ancient Chinese stuff," and I go, "Yeah, that's cool too." It's like because
whatever they
all
say.
of like all of these things are kind of ingrained in my subconscious because I've always been fascinated. I mean, Bogglings.
Can I play with that?
A lot of the influence was from Olmec heads, from
nice.
pre-Columbian Olmec heads. So pre-Columbian art has always been a big influence on me. Ancient Persian art, ancient Greek. There's some fantastic grotesques from ancient Greece.
Really?
And Chinese, of course, this is heavily influenced by ancient Chinese dragons. So, it's like, and to get all that stuff and then kind of mash it together and, bring it back to life is just a wonderful challenge.
This is so much fun. I just play with that for hours.
I love this like crazy, like there's like the hands up on the eyes, like this.
Well, if you go to totems.com, I have a whole description about the different totems and where their characters come from and what they mean and why
Which is
they
really
are.
funny,
Yeah,
by the
well,
way.
it's supposed to
I
be
thought.
tongue in cheek. That's the whole idea. But it's like the totems believe in acquiring additional characters. Like one of them the character that sits on his head is actually his toupee. But it's the other character's beard,
Right.
and it's plopped on his head, so because he's bald and he doesn't want to be embarrassed, so all these multiple heads is because they figure, well, 2 heads are better than 1, and what's better than 2, 3, or 4? So it's like the totems employ a lot of intellect from others.
I love it. That's so fun.
These
This
things
thing in
are
vinyl is
amazing.
going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean just the amount. I've heard so many times people talk about vinyl and they think, oh, it needs to be smooth. Like you can't put detail on vinyl, and it's like, no, you can. Just no one is. Like all these people are just doing this smooth style just because they think that's what they have to do.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, right here proves exactly like you could do anything. Like there's not a part of this that isn't covered in texture and coolness.
Well, I think years ago I did a toy that didn't go off at all, didn't sell. It was called Noogies, and it was just these little vinyl characters.
Hurt just
Right.
thinking about it.
And they sat on a ring on your finger. You could put them on, and they had little early sound chips in them, and you'd press them down on them, and they make these weird noises. But one of them, it was kind of a softer rotomolded vinyl.
Okay.
And it came back, and one of them had my fingerprint in it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so amazing. It picks up my
everything, yeah.
Right, it picks up my fingerprint. You know what I can do with that? You just like the idea that it's picking up that kind of detail, I can just go crazy with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Plus, it's super playable because it's like lightweight and you can switch
Yeah.
things around. And
Yeah. That's the idea.
I think that's fantastic. And even as I was going to say more fantastic because it's smaller and I love small things. But as fantastic as that is your
The
newest
mini
edition.
Yeah, well, these guys are going to be in the show too, and they pull apart, and you can do multiple heads on different bodies, or switch them around, however you want, just like the big totems, but they're minis.
Now, are these ones ever going to see production?
Yes.
Maybe? Yes? Oh,
Yeah.
good, definitely. I like the authority with which you say
Unfortunately,
yes.
there's only one of me.
I know the feeling. Oh, I do know the feeling.
Yeah.
That's so cool. You have so many things going on. Great things going on. Ooh,
Yeah, and there's a
like this one.
whole load of customs that I've done for the show this month at Toy Art Gallery.
very cool. And of course, you can go to Toy Art Gallery. Again, that was until the 26th.
Yeah,
Yes.
April
April?
26th is the show.
And the
And check
opening
out the-
is
Already passed.
Pass
Yeah.
now.
Sorry,
And
you
it was
missed
awesome.
it. It was amazing.
You should have been there because it was
This
super
one.
cool.
I like this one. Ooh,
Yeah, these are crazy.
these are so cool. Now, do you enjoy working with... Was this your first time using Japanese vinyl?
Yes, I think so.
Did you enjoy that process?
I've done
versus-
vinyl products before, but I think they all came out of China.
Did you
Actually,
notice a big
Bogglings
production difference?
was made in Mexico.
Really?
The original production was made in Mexico.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Go figure.
Yeah, that would certainly save on shipping.
Yes.
I wonder if that factory is still around.
Who knows? It was a long time ago.
Well, did you notice any differences that you enjoyed or didn't enjoy as much working with Japanese vinyl
No,
versus
the
other
great
mediums?
thing was that the detail came off. You know,
Mhm.
there was some, very minor stuff that got lost, but for the most part, they are really true to what I produced. And I did the final in wax, so the wax went to Japan, and they did a great job. I
Wow,
mean,
you sent the wax?
yeah,
That's crazy. I wouldn't trust the mail with a wax.
it's kind of like in a rush. So,
Oh, no, I understand.
and I was like, if it gets lost, I'll pull another one because I
Make
did
a new
all the
one, yeah.
right. I had all the silicone, so
Fantastic.
yep.
Well, this is incredible. And again, to see his work, you can go to totems.com.
Yes.
Do you have any other sites?
I'm on Instagram. It's Tim Clarke Toys, and Tumblr is the same. And there's tons of photographs from, many, many, many years.
Oh my gosh. I want to hear all your stories. But before we do that, can we have you open some blind box with us?
Sure.
Do you guys know what time it is? Blind box time! What do we have today, George?
This is another Wayback Machine. These were
Have
called
one.
Cug. These were. Is it?
Yeah, when are these from? 2006.
2006. Blackwater Toys. I don't even know if they're still around. You could go to blackwatertoys.com and check it out.
Okay, so we have to pick which we want. Of course, I want the skeleton.
But if I open these, it's going to ruin the value.
Oh, no. You obviously don't need to keep your toys in their boxes.
There's a medic. I need a Medicug.
A Medicug?
I didn't realize there was a medic. That's cool. Go on my medic shelf.
Office mule. Oh, that sounds like not an easy life.
Which one do you want?
Which one? Oh, I want to see this office mule.
Okay. Have we ever opened these? Did these...
Yeah, we had a few sets back in 2006.
Oh, these go in the train cars.
Yeah.
There's a little train car, and they sit inside. I remember these.
Oh.
That makes sense. Early days of designer toys. Early-ish.
Oh, the train cars are there.
Teeny tiny.
So I got...
And you pop these open, so it's like double blind box.
Kate's.
Wait, is this a train car or a subway car? This could be a subway.
Could be a subway. Could be a
that
subway
looks more
car.
like subway to me.
Yeah.
I'm from California. We don't have either.
Oh. Maybe it's an escaped New Yorker.
Ah. Okay, so I think they all come with a DIY blank one. And then, I got
cool.
Office Cug. I got the Office Mule. Oh!
And
I'll
I
trade
got...
you.
No, sorry. I don't...
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Here you go.
Oh, okay. Yay!
Are they
thanks.
magnets? Oh, there's little magnets
Skeleton.
In their heads?
in there.
There are?
Yeah.
Skeletons are really big. Everybody seems to like skeletons.
How can you not like a skeleton? It's Harryhausen.
Is that what you associate it with? Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Okay.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of skeleton projects out there.
No,
but, like, what's like one of the first skeleton things you see? Well, for me, I guess, Harryhausen.
No, it's just really bad Halloween costumes when I was a kid.
Oh. These are fun.
Cool.
They're tiny. For some reason, I didn't remember how tiny they were.
I like
I don't remember opening these. It's cool because you can like paint the car and.
And they fit on the little pegs.
Oh, there's
Nice.
pegs. I thought they just stood
And
in
you can
there.
have them look out the window. You can also, if you don't want to have them build the train car, you can line them up and you can make a giant.
Oh, he's
line
kind
of
of
train
emo
cars.
looking
Cool.
out the.
I like it.
I don't know. I would go blind trying to customize this teeny tiny thing, but I kind of want to do it now.
So I think,
These are fun.
Yeah, you can make a whole train car of them.
Neat.
So if you can find them online,
Trains are always big.
check eBay. Not as big as skeletons, but a skeleton in a train.
And then you
Winner.
could do something fun with the boxes.
Sure.
You can
make
make your
train
own
cars out of
little
those.
play set.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
make
you're
a little,
using every part. I like
a little
it.
city scene to go by.
Well, would you like to open a few more toys with us?
Sure, why not?
Absolutely, fantastic.
Sounds fun.
All right, so up first, George,
Monsters Minis.
Monsters University Minis.
Now, this
Yeah.
is gonna be weird because we haven't actually seen this movie.
But we did see the short.
Oh, that's true, we did.
So
It was cute.
the short in front of Muppets. Have you seen this yet?
No.
So 3 people
An
who have not
extension.
seen
An
Monsters
extension
University.
on
Monsters University.
right.
No, not Monsters University. Monsters Inc. That's it.
Yeah.
But obviously it's all the characters when they were back in college, so they're super cute and like chibi,
Oh, these are Spin Master.
cutesy style. This one happens to be a Walmart exclusive,
Yeah.
which is
A
crazy.
Walmart exclusive.
How crazy is that?
What?
So you get 21-inch figures, not 21-inch figures. You get 20 figures that are 1 inch each.
Very Muppety, don't you think?
They're totally Muppety. Like that one in particular,
Yeah.
totally Muppety. And this, I believe, usually goes for $20, but you found it for like $15.
No, it was 1997.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
So it's $1 a piece.
There was.
They're cute.
I just love. I mean, I love
No, they're
tiny
cute.
figures, but like,
This
They're
guy, in
nicely done too.
even without having seen the movie, I knew. Like, once I saw the set, I was like, I gotta have this.
the way this guy moves in the animation is very Muppety too. He kind of like rolls around and the feet get long. There's a lot of cute stuff. What is this clear one up here?
That's the exclusive that you get with that set.
Oh, that's the guy from Monsters Inc. The Randy.
And you get the clear version
Randall
of him.
from the Scare Floor. He's cool.
Yeah.
Clear things, always good.
I think you can get most of the other guys in like the little 2-packs that they sell, or 3-packs or whatever it is. But I think there's certain guys like Randall.
So do you guys
clear.
know all these characters'
No.
names?
No, I don't know any of them. I mean, it's
You
all
don't?
I
in
mean,
the
I know Sully and
Mike
Right.
and Sully.
Mike
is it.
Wazowski and Randy. Oh wait, I should know this one.
Oh look, there's George.
Mrs. Squibbles.
Hey.
Or Miss.
Uh-oh,
Ms.
something happens in the movie.
Ms. Squibbles.
Squibbles.
Oh, Dean Hardscrabble. Where's Dean Hardscrabble? Look at him. Oh, the nice thing is there's no twist ties.
Yeah.
He's like a little demon-y guy. Like a demon caterpillar.
These are cool.
Yeah.
I
Really
like
nice.
them. Just
They're
being...
minifigures. They're cute. They're $1 each, basically, for the whole set.
This one has a hole. Do they all have holes in their heads?
What's the age group on this? Does it say?
Probably on the front. No? Oh,
3
3 and up.
años.
3 and up. There you go.
3 años.
Which
All
is
right.
weird because they're tiny, but...
Now let's get on the stuff I really want to open.
Okay.
That was just filler that George bought.
Where do you want to... Where do you want to start? Do you have
I don't know. Let's start with that one.
This one?
Okay, so do you peruse Toys R Us a lot? It's okay if you
occasionally.
All right, so these... No, I meant that one. It doesn't matter. We have to open them all. So they are doing their own toys now.
Uh-huh.
They have a lot of... They have several different... I need scissors.
I got them right here.
They have several different lines, but this is one
True
of...
Legends.
I don't know if they're new or if they were out from last year. It's... Ooh, just stabbed me.
That's cool.
So these are called True Legends, and they have pirates and ninjas and elves and other things. They also have the True Heroes line, which is like firefighters and SWAT team and all these other cool characters. But these ones, I can't get them out of the box. Come out of the box. Thank you.
It's a really mean-looking fireplace.
So these are super affordable action figures and play sets from Toys R Us, and I think they're really cool because they're not licensed. Obviously, it's not
Yeah.
anything specific. I got this one. It was on sale. Granted, it was on sale, but this was $10.
That's amazing.
I don't know how, and I think the regular price is only like $15.
That's amazing.
I don't know how their prices are what they are. Like, it's pretty out of control.
Large production numbers.
Yeah, I got this for you for Christmas. There's still more twist ties.
And what is this guy's name? Do we know?
Good question. So it's very like generic. Tree Warrior.
Oh.
He's called Tree Warrior.
Tree Warrior.
In a world torn by two fearless enemies, enemies fight for supremacy. The savage orcs and the mystical elves wage their war through the ages. Both armies enlist powerful weapons, mighty beasts, and spectacular magic in their quest for victory. Dun, 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 dun. We need like epic music.
Well,
with that.
it's nice because it gives kids an opportunity to use their imagination rather than it being pre-programmed by
But it's so rare to
something
find
on
that.
television.
I think.
Kind of like when I had Army Men as a kid.
Exactly. Or when you made something like Sectors.
Barracuda. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of Diver Dan,
Oh.
which is way before your time.
No, I know what it is.
You remember that show?
I know what it is. It was before my time, but I know
There was a
what you're talking
Barracuda on Diver Dan who was like the villain.
about. Look at what came in the feet. Giant.
This is how everything is held together on the box. It's like weird plastic
in place.
screws. Yeah.
Whoa.
And a lot
Hey,
of twist
freed him.
tie.
I freed him.
Somebody should
can
come
play
up with
now.
a twist tie toy.
We can make our own toys with them. Okay, I'm gonna toss this over your
go.
face.
It's very cool.
Over your face. So I got all these sets on sale. Their normal prices are still really good. I think that's
Look at that twist
15.
tie.
Hey, Sherman Lowe, did you have anything to do with this? Friend of mine I went to Pratt with who works at Toys R Us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Did he work on? Do you know what he works on? Monster 500.
I have no idea, but I know he's...
This has play action. That's so cool. So this set that George is taking forever to open, the pirate ship and the fish and all the stuff, that one I got for $12.99. Now, granted, these were on sale. They were 35% off when I got them. But they were still 35% off. That means it's usually what, $17?
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's ridiculously
I had
awesome
seen
price.
some of the other pirates that they had done that I thought were really cool.
And again, it's not the most detailed toy that you're ever going to find, but it's got a reasonable amount of detail. It's got, I think you could repaint.
That's pretty cool on the back. Look at that.
Let me take that back. It's got good detail, not a lot of paint.
Right.
And you could just
That's
easily paint up the details yourself if one were so
You
inclined. Ooh. What is this thing?
Yeah, you could have a lot of fun with this.
I think this is a great deal for kids and for I mean,
Right.
toys
You're
are
on a
so
budget.
expensive now.
Look
Yes,
at that.
that's true.
And when do you get stuff on a sprue anymore? Never! I never get toys on
Or
sprue.
this could just be a door that you really can't walk through
Ooh, it's just a display.
because it would be painful.
So this one actually fires things too, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
play value, $12.99.
So it's got these. I
It's
don't know where all this
super
stuff goes. Here's a sword, a flag that goes somewhere. This thing goes somewhere.
I hadn't gotten to that
I
part
think I
yet.
know somebody who would like this a lot.
Oh yeah? Is it you?
No. Somebody who's 10.
Oh, okay.
More appropriate.
So I do have to say I had been debating about buying these in the store when I saw them, but then the Toys R Us I went to did not have this guy, but he's the one who kind of sold me. And some of my friends online
Ooh.
posted a picture of this, and I was like, oh man, I have got to have that, because they opened the mouth and they put a whole bunch of minifigures, like, you know, OMFG and Muscle and a bunch of cute figures, and I was like, okay, I need to have that. And you can put little guys in here. You can put a totem in here. You can haul them around.
Cool.
They play well with your other toys. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that somebody's making affordable action figures non-licensed.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's even got like the peg leg,
Oh, he's
foot.
got-
Like, they're super generic like things. Like, I don't know. The sculpting's
Inspiring.
real. Like everything. See how it's all like
Attached.
Yeah.
drafted back because
Yeah.
it's probably ABS or something.
Old school,
and,
man.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe that's why I like it so much.
It is. It is really old school.
So now you've made the transition from working mass market into doing designer toys
Yeah.
and your own kind of art toys. Do you collect anything specific in either realm?
I actually have quite a large collection of marionettes
Ooh,
and puppets from all over
course.
the world.
of
Oh,
course.
that's cool.
That's what I got into. I have 2 original Bill Baird marionettes. And for people who don't know, Bill Baird was the guy who did the goat herd for The Sound of Music. But when I was a kid, that was the toy, the puppets that were on television that I used to watch. He did a lot of, kids television and movies. And so
Those are some of
I
your
was
prize.
able to buy 2 of those at an auction. And I was just like, yes.
That's
So
cool.
cool.
And the craftsmanship in them is just absolutely exquisite, because Bill had a German woodcarver working for him at the time who
Oh wow.
carved all the feet, the hands, the legs by hand. So they're just incredibly beautiful things.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How does
And-
that? How does that even come up? Like, how did you find?
Well,
that
because I had a lot of people at Muppets knew the Baird family, and when Bill passed away, they had this just massive
Okay.
collection of marionettes, and
wow.
they went to auction at an estate sale.
auction? Right.
And everybody called, like, everybody, did you hear? They're
gotta
actually
get
going to
rid of
sell
this,
some of it. And, like, everybody in the audience was,
Just
staff
huge fan. Yeah.
from Muppets.
Muppet
It's like,
reunion.
and everybody's like, are you going to take that one? I'll let you take that one
Oh,
if
you
you
all
let
be
me
nice
take
to
this
each
one.
other.
It's like, because we didn't want to get into like this bidding war between us, because
Right.
we would have just driven the prices like crazy. And they
And it's
ended
going
up,
home with one of you anyway.
yeah, and they ended up selling for a lot more than the Baird family ever expected. They were just like blown away. So,
That's cool.
and we
That's
were
cool
glad
there was
because
all that love and support for it.
yeah,
too.
because and we wanted them to go to good homes,
Yeah.
to people who would appreciate them.
Yeah, because you never, if no one in that group had heard about it, it could have just went
Right.
to the garbage. I mean, it could have just
Right.
Oh, don't
Well,
think about that.
or it would have gone to people who were just like going, I don't really know what this is, but it's kind of cool. And,
right. It wouldn't have had the love and care that it needs.
Yeah.
Ends up in an attic somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Very
cool.
cool puppets.
Do you want to keep going on these, or do you want to save 2 of these for another?
We could play with the other 2 later.
Okay, because there's a lot.
got some
There's
more.
a lot of twist ties. I know they're going to take so hard.
I didn't know there was gonna be a lot of twist ties. I guess I should assume that there's always gonna be a lot of twist ties.
Look at the way they've really made use of like hogging everything out and making it as hollow, and it looks like a lot of plastic from the front.
Well, that's
like,
why it's so cheap, price-wise.
I mean, it helps explain why they can keep the price down.
But I think I wouldn't have cared about that as a
But just
kid.
even the tooling on a piece like that.
Oh.
I can't even imagine.
It's a lot of tooling.
And with
Be
that being
amazing.
one piece, I mean, that... Ugh,
Very cool.
expensive. We can't afford to make that.
Well, if you had a treasure chest of gold, you could.
Yes, I could.
Now
Do you know where to get a treasure chest of gold? Ha-ha! Now I can make all the toys I want! Ha-ha! All right, let's bring back sectors.
Let's bring back
Okay.
Sector.
Done. Actually, I think there's quite the fandom that would be very happy
Well,
about that.
We shall see. We shall see.
This is very cool. Thank you so much for sharing all this with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Really.
All right, well, shall we talk about a couple events coming up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right around the corner this weekend is WonderCon, Comic and Popular Art Convention at the Anaheim Convention Center in Anaheim, California, April 18th to 20th, comic-con.org. And of course, right after that is C2E2, the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. It is bringing the best of pop culture to the South Building at McCormick Place in Chicago, Illinois, April 25th to April 27th, c2e2.com. Whew.
There's a lot of cons.
There's so many we mentioned the ones we know about or are
Yeah.
kind of big, or like we know people going to them or we're going to. There's so many more. I am exhausted even thinking about it.
I didn't realize that ex-convicts were so active in the toy business.
It's all about cons.
That's terrible. Do you go to any yourself, Comic-Con or anything like that?
Yeah, I went to Comic-Con in New York last November, was it?
October. Yes.
October.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I was overwhelmed, to say the least. I was like, oh my god.
That show has grown leaps and bounds in just a few
Yeah.
years.
I was overwhelmed. So that
It's
should
very-
happen to Designer Con, that's all I have to say.
I don't know. I don't know if I want DesignerCon quite that big, but
Yeah, sure, why not? Are you ever going to do them in other cities?
no plans right now.
Get on it.
What cities should we come to? I won't do
I
a
don't
Javits
know.
show, I don't think.
No, that would be a little overwhelming. But you know, there's smaller venues in the city that you could do.
Well,
them.
even Javits you can do smaller, but there's the Union and you can't
No,
carry things in.
I can
and
totally understand that.
You've
Just-
been there for Toy Fair
Oh.
multiple times, I'm sure.
I
I have to say,
have
it's
to
so
tell
weird.
you, once I plastered an entire ceiling because for a show at Toy Fair because the plasters never showed up, and literally as soon as I finished it, they walked in and they said, "You can't do that." And I said, "Why? I'm reasonably good at doing this, you know, like taping and plastering." And they go, "No," and they went and pulled everything down that I had just finished
No!
and started all over again.
Ah!
And I was like, okay, all right. If that's the way you want to do it. You have to do it. You have to do it. So
Unions.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
And I have to say, though, I think it's very weird to go to the Javits Center for the different things we go for. So you go for Toy Fair, and it's such a different setup and flow than you go for, like, Comic-Con.
Yes. Oh, I mean, it's nothing because I'll never forget when Sectors was first at Toy Fair. Maureen and I were just like, this is going to be so much fun. It's going to be so incredible to be at Toy Fair, you know, the first time. And we got there and there's all these guys walking around in gray suits and, you know, and we were like, they all look so dour and depressed. Like,
It's so sad.
Shouldn't this be
fun?
fun?
Like, there's no fun here at all.
And we did blacklight theater puppet show of Sectors. And we
At
had
Toy
all
Fair?
yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
we had all these guys, you know, we had all the puppeteers were in blacks, and there were people walking out of the showroom and they're going, how did those things move like that? Like, how did they do that? And we were like, this is so great. We got them totally fooled and hooked, you
That's
know?
amazing.
So good.
Yeah.
Very cool.
there's little Boglin-esque type guys in there.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Secrets from the Totems. All right, well, that is it, actually, for this episode. George, would you like to describe anything else you're seeing on the totem?
You have to see this in person. Like, there's no way to even, like... There's no way to describe what it is until you're holding this in your hand.
So if you haven't made it to Toy Art Gallery yet, go right now and check it out.
I mean, even the pictures aren't going to, like...
Because the new sandstone is hopefully going to be there soon.
Yay!
Cool.
The sandstone colorway.
It's totally there right
first, as far as I know.
now. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what else you're doing. I mean, this is amazing. I can't wait to see these Toothless in production. That's going to be incredible. Sign me up for one.
Okay.
And you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And don't forget, you can save money with Toy Break coupons online. You can check the show notes at toybreak.com for all the details, as well as links to all this cool stuff and to all of Tim's sites and Totems and Toothless and so many awesome. There's so much awesomeness on this table right now. You can, of course, also watch past episodes and join the contests and discussions in the forum. You can help us out, which is by doing what you do every day. Shopping on Amazon. Just click the Amazon link on toybreak.com and do your shopping as normal. You can also call and leave us a voicemail, 818 Am I Good? You can email us, info@toybreak.com. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/toybreak. You can check out our toy briefs, our toy girls, and our full episodes of Toy Break, of course, at youtube.com/toybreak. You can follow us on Twitter at toybreak. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Eileen Gaspar.
At George Gaspar.
Wow, that's a mouthful. www.totems.com.
And
Tim Clarke Toys on
Instagram.
And Tumblr. And
we didn't even show the awesome, like...
Oh, yeah. The header.
That's the header card.
Header card for that thing with amazing art all over it. Like... Alright, sorry, keep going.
No.
And there's Totems
That's,
paintings at the gallery, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool. Multiple Ds. 2Ds, 3Ds, all the Ds.
Yep.
All the Ds.
And the deities, too.
All the deities! Well, thank you so much for taking the time to take a toy break with us. This is really
enjoyed
cool.
it thoroughly.
We would love to have you back anytime.
And I'm so glad I made George happy, because sometimes I watch the show and he's like so grumpy.
Yeah, but you're talking Muppets. He doesn't care about toys, but Muppets.
Yeah, you're talking Dark Crystal. Now you're talking my language. Now you're talking about stuff I want to hear.
Should we start Dark Crystal Break?
Dark Crystal Break coming up next.
All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you, same toy time, same toy channel, next week. Bye!
Bye.